Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. Where to begin? California. My favorite place I've ever lived. Movie locations, television history, perfect, dare I say perfect weather. Disneyland Resort, Walt's Original Magic Kingdom, just over my shoulder in the neighborhood, the vicinity, within a couple miles of where I reside. And my intention moving back here, I lived in Orange County from 2015 to 2016, and I traveled for a while, for a year or so. Moved up to Hollywood for 2 years, and then said, heck it, going back down to the OC, which is frowned upon to call it that, but Orange County, California, not Florida. By the way, I'm inviting you to join me as I think out loud on my thoughts, current thoughts of what I'm doing. My days are numbered here in California. I'm stating that just to give myself some accountability, also to remember how I have been feeling, and to not forget and get complacent. I am very stubborn when it comes to my decisions, very hard-headed, and I enjoy doing things. I enjoy free will, going out, living life to the fullest. My intention, I do not mind putting in the time, effort, traveling around the country, documenting things on a pretty grand scale. Let's face it, I've been probably gone more weeks and months, if you combine them up, than I am when I am quote unquote home. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with dedicating this channel and my life to adventures. But in theory, when I go back to a homestead, I would like it to be a simpler time period when it comes to creating content, struggling out traveling. When you're back home, it should be a little easier. Isn't that right? Bird of paradise? Very beautiful. And over the last year, 2020 has been very difficult. Not as difficult for me as it has been for others. I am single. I am able to travel. I do not have family close by, which I will get to that in a little bit. So the issues, which a lot are having to take into consideration, do not affect me as much. If something were to happen to myself, it's just me I have to worry about. And that really factors into a lot of the decision making that I do. Anyway, I digress. I'm getting distracted. When I'm home, as I was stating, when I'm home, the whole idea was, okay, I can travel for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, come home for a couple weeks or a month, and while I'm here, I can enjoy Disneyland, I can enjoy Universal Studios, I can also take in the sights and the sounds of museums and parks around SoCal, the greater Los Angeles area. And in 2020, save for the first couple months, that was not a possibility. Or that was a possibility the first couple months, and then, save for the first couple months. After that, was it March? All that changed. And it changed for the rest of the country as well, not just here. However, the rest of the country, with the exception of a couple other states, started to rear their heads when it came to things to do. California was one of the ones that really did not, and has not, in fact, has kind of taken a step back, which understandably may or may. I am not a leader. There are leaders and there are followers. Sergeant Chevalier will always be a follower. I am Sergeant Chevalier, if you will. Well, not really, because I'm kind of a leader in my own mind. But I do not know how to lead others, make decision making. I am not in a public office. All that. I am not knowledgeable when it comes to those things. All I know is what I can do to better myself and to keep myself sane So here's what I'm gonna do. My lease on where I am living currently ends in August, could be September, I cannot recall, but it's the end of summer of 2021. I am predicting that nothing here in the state of California will really change dramatically when it goes to, doing a 180, when it goes to opening establishments, probably up to that point. My days are numbered here. Tennessee, Florida are two places I am considering moving to. Also, New York City, Manhattan. Those are the three. And when I say that, New York probably will not happen. It's always been a bucket list of mine to live in New York for, look at this. Empty. It has been a bucket list to live in New York, hopefully before the age of 50, which is 3.5 years away. That might not happen now due to circumstances, because New York State and the city, it's kind of in the same boat as SoCal, well, all of Cal. And I have also considered going back on the road, purchasing another van. I even looked at some of those Sprinter van units, or maybe even I'm not gonna get an RV, that's just too big, but just something that I could travel around, or even getting my car, traveling, just staying in hotels, and don't even have a homestead per se, but probably will not go that route again. I've been there and done that. So I'm really leaning towards Tennessee or Florida to set up camp. I'll still travel. I will always come back to California. I love this place with all of my heart. I have defended it tenfold to everyone, friends, family. All of my family lives on the East Coast, whether it be Florida, Indiana, my aunts and uncles, cousins, nephews, Mississippi, Virginia, Georgia, North Carolina. Those are the areas. West of there, I have no blood relatives that I know of. So being back, either in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, which I have been looking at places to rent, or maybe, possibly, I thought I would never say this, going back to the greater Orlando area, or just not for now, not have a place and just roll around. The problem with that is a lot of different, every state has their different implications and their standards and their precautions. You might not be able to go to certain ones. It's a difficult time. I have to do what I feel is right. And what I feel is right is to not complete the tenure of what my lease is set to go through August and September 2021. So that will not be happening. I am stating that now. I am not making an announcement on exactly where I am going to end up. It's all up in the air. Whew, up in the air, what I'm gonna do. But something needs to change. And the thought of change really excites me. The last couple of days I've been stewing over this. And it really has it's got the blood level pumping. I love adventure, I love change, I love mixing things up a bit. Everyone I know here, close friends, acquaintances, even those I meet in passing, no one is joyous about what is taking place in this vicinity. But it seems other places, even though there are precautions and things taking place, no problem. I have no problem with any of it. I have this. I utilize this all the time. I keep my distance. I do all that stuff. But it seems like there is a more joyous happiness elsewhere. And it should not be that. California is the perfect place. Scenic, amazing weather. You do not have hurricanes There is the occasion, you might possibly get a little shake up here and there, but it's rare. But other than that, well, we got some, if you're in the mountains, you might have some fires. That's not good. However, other than that, you can walk out of your door every day and not worry about the elements being an issue. It is not that way in most of the rest of the US. And as stated, I really love movie history. I love Hollywood. I love all the backlots, all that stuff I'm just so passionate about. So I will always return. I will always come back, probably just as much as me living here and going to Florida all the time. It would be the same vicinity of me coming here constantly, staying once Disneyland reopens. Who knows when the heck that will be? They're doing like food festivals. They're doing Buena Vista Street, which is very emotional walking in there because, DCA is Disneyland in general, right across from the Disneyland park. And then Knott's Berry Farm. However, it's just a tease. You see these attractions, you see these rides, and you want this, don't you? Yes. Yes, we need this. I need this. So I got to doing a lot of hypotheticals in my mind. What should I do? If I break my lease, there is a little bit of a monetary penalty, which I have no problem paying. I could be, into early 2001, before spring. I could be officially a non-resident of Southern California. And I'm fine with that. I am totally fine. Here comes someone talking on their cell phone very loudly, so I'll go over here. So the wheels are in motion. I have put it into the universe. I am stating this. Now, will I end up in New York City? Will I end up back in Florida? Will I end up in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, which is where I eventually want to, quote unquote, retire? There's a lot of quote unquotes. Quote unquote, retire. I would like to settle down on my final place that I will reside until the end of my tenure here in life in the Smoky Mountains. So maybe I could start that early. It's like a few people out jogging today, which is kind of nice. Yeah, this place here really usually is a beehive of activity when it comes to conventions. Now, I'm just a couple miles from here. My intention was, hey, you know what? I'll move back down to Orange County. And then when I'm home, when I'm not traveling, when I'm not doing all that stuff, really kind of stressing myself out being on the road, when I'm home, I can go to conventions, visit the convention center, take an Uber or a ride share or a Lyft over, and I'll just be in the content, be in the excitement. But there is none of that. There's none. There's no excitement. Little excitement. And I have a lot of freedom that I do not need to be harnessing myself, tethering myself to something that doesn't need to be tethered to. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I will have another announcement. I'm going to Florida at the end of the month. Starting the first of the month, I will be in Walt Disney World, staying on property for a couple weeks of the month of December, and then off property at another hotel for the other couple months. So pretty much from December 1st until after Christmas. My game plan now is to probably be back here by New Year's. And I will have made up my mind. I'm going to do some soul searching. I'm going to talk it over with family. But amongst all that, I always like to hear others' opinions, even those that are close in my life. But it really comes down to what I want to do. And that I'm going to soak in all the thoughts and opinions from others. And then I'm going to make my own decision. I've made my decision, but the final decision of what the next step will be. And it was a tough choice for a long time. I really kind of battled with it back and forth. And the last couple weeks have really helped me with this. So this will be a place I visit many times. I will be no stranger to this neck of the woods. I will always be back, and I will be back here very often, maybe even half the time. But my physical address will either be somewhere else, not in California, the sun is bright, or I will just be on the road for a while. Time will tell. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over.